Welcome back to the next episode of The Shooter's Roll. We've been gone for a little while, but it's like a pandemic. We're back.
Yeah, boy.
Just like a pandemic, we won't go away. We'll always be here. So yeah, let's just get into it. So I've got my co-host today, RJ. What's up, man? How are you?
Same old, man. How about you, Brand? Long time no see.
Yeah, man. Been a while. Let's get into it. So today we're going to talk about NBA, Olympics, Australian men's and women's teams, Tokyo, of course, Olympics, under 19s, a couple of draft picks that we think that will be good in 2023. So, and a couple of hyper items like Bonny James, and a couple of dramas here and there. So, if you got nothing to listen to us and discuss it. And we're open to having everyone on the show. So we'll back it up. You know, we'll lay our comments down. And if you have any arguments towards us, come on the show. And let's chat it up while we're in this lockdown in Sydney at the moment.
That's right.
Yeah, let's start out straight away. So RJ, so we've just witnessed Game 5 of the finals series, Bucks versus Suns. What are your thoughts going into, if you were on the Suns team, what are your thoughts and what's your predictions going into Game 6?
It's really hard because, to be honest, I picked Suns to pretty much win it. But I think the coaching staff for Milwaukee has really done a great job for making the proper adjustments going forward with defense and offense. I thought Phoenix would probably have him in 6, but I was proven wrong, and Milwaukee really stepped up. Milwaukee's second and third T guys, man, they've really stepped up. I mean, Middleton's stepped up. Drew has really stepped up. That's the key with them. I mean, Giannis is always going to play good. We all know that, but I think it comes from those 2 guys plus the rest of the team. So they've really picked up their game. I mean, I'm so impressed. They're so good the way they've sort of, taken their losses and turned them to win. So. And hats off to the coaching staff. They've identified what they need to do, and now they're 1 win away from winning the chip, which is so impressive. Which I was supposed to be proven wrong. How about you? What do you think?
So RJ, sorry, I missed that. So who do you have winning in terms of?
Oh, come on, man! I'm still gonna go with Phoenix. I still think they can make the proper adjustments to take and force a Game 7.
Okay,
I think it'll go to 7.
What's the adjustments? What's the adjustments the Suns need to make?
I think the other guys need to pick up the game more, because I think they're really leaning towards more Booker and CP3. And CP, I'm not sure what's wrong. I see he's struggling. He's not as clicky as if he was in Game 1. He's slowed down a bit, and he still does what he does, but he doesn't seem to be getting his shots properly. That's just what I think, because Game 1 he had it, you know what I mean, they got their shots. Now he's struggling, so it's all mental now. Once you fix this, everything will come into place. So I'm gonna go with Suns, man. Suns in 7.
Okay, Suns in 7. Okay, so yeah, for me, I agree with you in terms of what you're thinking about. The Suns need to improve and to move on to the next stage and force Game 7. But yeah, I picked the Bucks since the matchup with the Nets. The reason why I chose the Bucks, right, is because of their health. Like even though the Bucks were down, even though the Bucks were down 2-0, right, 2-0 against the Nets. I was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna stick to my bet. I was like, maybe I made the wrong choice. But as we are, we will stand by our statements. And and because I saw that to Kyrie, and then Harden went down, and I was like, man, like Star Series all available, right? So I'm like, but these guys haven't shown me that they can stay on the court for the whole season. So whatever the reason was, right? So then I basically looked at durability of the Bucks. I looked at starting with Giannis, Middleton, and Drew Holiday, and these guys have been, they've year in year out, they've always shown that they never really have any major injuries, right? And their games outside of Giannis is not really an attacking game. So I'm saying Giannis is built for this. He's been doing this for years, right? Two-time MVP. You know, the Greek freak. You know. Granted, he had that injury. And just look at the way he recovered in like what 4 or 5 days. That's ridiculous. Like, you know, sure the NBA is like the top league and like money is not an issue in terms of the amount of specialists and the amount of equipment he has to heal. But man, there has to be something about his you know, his makeup, his genetics and his makeup, right? So
that's
it was crazy, right? So
it is.
Yeah, so
I agree.
So yeah, summing it up, like for the Bucks, they just have to pretty much the game plan is set, right? So Giannis carries them for most of the game, like the 3.5 quarters, and then you just need Drew Holiday and Middleton to step in to be the closer. A bit like we're hearing about like Shaq and Kobe, not to that extent, as in like, you know, pure alpha, but in terms of skill set. Like you know, you see Middleton's game and Drew Holiday's game is usually centered around the jump shot, dribbling, beating the man one-on-one, and getting a shot that is a good shot. You know, this is what you want. You got 3 players in their you're paying $30 million a year for these 3 players.
That's right.
They're all available, and they all can turn the game. You know, they all turn the game. As long as those 3 guys are healthy, I don't think the Suns have a chance. Like purely from my point of view, like I've been a Suns fan since Nash, and the way they play quick. But in terms of like being a betting man, I've bet on the Bucks, and I'll continue with that. I think they close it out. I originally thought they would take 7 games, but the way they're going, if they need to close it in 6, because if it goes back to Phoenix, there's going to be a bit of pressure. As a basketball fan too, I also love Game 7s. We love Game 7s, but
that's right.
My final pick is the money is on Game 6 for the Bucks to close it out and get their first championship in ages. So,
wow. Okay.
Your final thoughts? Your final thoughts on the subject?
Well, you're right, because Milwaukee has had a lot of time to rest. I mean, from my knowledge, they were out early last season. So if you notice, most of the teams that are deep in the playoffs now has had more rest than the rest who were deep in the playoffs last year. People who were deep in the playoffs last year were pretty much in it now. So if you can tell, the break has benefited them, has got them to rest more. But for the guys who made deep in the playoffs, did not have enough time to rest, hence the injuries. You know, all the stars have gone down, and it's really painful for us to watch, especially fans. You just go, oh, you're kidding, right? Like, they're going to go down. We've got no one to watch. We're watching bench players, you know, get the W for them. And that's not what we want. We want to watch the superstars win it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
So no, you're right. You're right. Milwaukee has been on the court, and they've been healthy, and they've got it. So, and they're quite young. I mean, their point guard is not even not like CP3. He's pretty much, he's on the verge of you know, finishing already. So yeah, but you're right.
Yep. Cool. So you're standing by the Suns, and I'm standing by the Bucks. Let's see what happens in Game 6.
Fair enough.
Okay, so onto let's shift gears, right? So NBA players we just talked about in the previous video. So we're going to talk about the Olympics, right? We're away from Australia. The Australian Opals is the women's national Australian basketball team that's going to represent Australia. Liz Cambage is the one of the best players that we have from Australia. Always drama surrounds her. The latest report in the media is she put out of the Olympics due to mental issues. We're here to discuss, I guess, discuss if that's true or it's not true, and what we heard, and the sources that we kind of got it from. So starting off from the bat, RJ, what are your thoughts about her? Because there was rumored that there was a private session with the Nigerian team, and the session, and then after that session, something bad happened. She said something, she did something that was, to Andrew Bogut's podcast, says that she should be banned. You know, so we don't know exactly what happened. We only can, just guess. I'm thinking maybe it had something to do with the scrimmage they had, altercation, maybe some words exchanged without putting words out there. We're pretty much in a woke society at the moment. So I assume some inappropriate things were said. What are your thoughts on Liz Cambage and pulling out amidst all these allegations, and also the timing of it? Like for me, I think it's really late in the game. Like as an Australian team and a teammate, like they're like, we were prepared to play the US team, which we'll get into, 2 days, and she pulls out at the last minute. Come on, man. Your thoughts, RJ?
Look, man, number one, before I get into it, I am a fan of Liz Cambage. I think she's a gun. I think she's, you know, she needs to pick up where Lauren Jackson left off. I think we need her, and we need her badly for us to win, because she's really a great player. If she's gone through something with mental health, you know, good luck to her. Hopefully, she uses her resources to sort of help her with her mental health. All the best to her. I'm not dissing her. You know, if it is, then, you know, all the best to you. But we all know what happened before with what she said in terms of the Australian team and its photo. I don't know if it's linked to that. My guess is that it is, because, you know, from what they said, that it was all white players, there was no colored players. You know, she has a point to a degree, but at the same time, you know, just go in there and play. Like, just get in there and play. If you play that good, you'll be the face anyway. No one's gonna ignore you. Put it that way, eh?
Yep.
So we all know that. She has a point. I mean, if you look at the photo, she has a great point. I'm not going to disagree with her. And by the way, hopefully she'll come on the show one day. So hopefully, Liz, that's why I'm being nice to you. Hopefully, come down the show. But we want to talk to you because we think you're a machine. We think you're a gun. But look, with sport, maybe something did happen. I don't have any news to that. But it's sport. What do you expect? Training or real game? There's going to be, you know, it's going to be escalated. Everything will be escalated. So, you know. Yeah,
that's it, man. Yeah, that's it. That's how I see it. Like, at the end of the day, for me, like, she was in the bubble of WNBA, right? So it's one of those things, right? It's like you know what's gonna happen, you know, and what I've like this USA team, like the men's Zach and all these guys, Bradley Bill getting COVID, like they're not isolated as much as I'm not sure what the difference between the US team and the Australian team, but the US team is pretty loose in terms of the players can do whatever they want. There is no bubble, right? So I'm not sure. In terms of that, we can't comment on what the Australian team has the restrictions. It hasn't been told to the public, right? But if you're Olympics, it's a privilege to represent your country, and to be selected is like a dream come true as a kid, right? So you should absolutely should treasure that, and I guess because of this pandemic going around, all you have to do is just, you play the game, you hang out with your teammates for a couple of weeks, and then you literally can walk around with the gold medal. Like, even if you come 12th or 11th, at least you gave your team the best chance. Like, the best thing about a game, like, is availability. You know, like we touched on in the NBA finals, like having all your stars and all your players available, right? And by no doubt, she's the top 12 players that we have in our country, and for her to be available, even if she catches COVID or whatever, it would have been great. You know, like she's saying, it's mental health. Like we can't say anything bad about mental health, right? It's a serious disease.
Correct.
But for her to say that, and then all these allegations coming out, she hasn't responded to any of them. So and we've seen in the past that you know, she's behaved in a certain way, you know, pulling out of the games before. So, you know, if it's mental health, you know, we pray that you know, you basically can heal from it and be better for it. All we're asking for as fans and basketball fans and Australian proud supporters of our country is just be available and play for us. Like, we want to beat the best teams with you, you know. But because she's not available, what do you think in terms of our chances? Like, the update was we did beat the US by a couple of baskets, probably one basket, I think. It's good. It was a good showing. I'm pretty sure that the US team would have scouted and game planned around Liz playing, and when she didn't play, as a competitor, as a basketball player, like, when you play another team and their main players out, there's moments where you actually drop your guard. You're like, okay, cool, we got this. You know, we don't even have to try. Like the MVP's out. Right?
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah.
So
Gotcha.
so it's good that Australia stepped up and beat them, because this is the first time we beat them in 11 years. So this is historic, like, for us to beat them. But I think we'll see the good, I guess the best of the US team once we hit the middle rounds, and because I think that the Opals are still a chance to make it. Without Liz, without Liz being the top dog, everyone else falls in line now. Everyone's equal. Everyone's equal, right? So it's equal opportunity, offense, equal opportunity, and then they feel like they're doing it together. Yeah. So for me, I would say in the women's basketball, Australia and US are still favourites to win the gold. Hopefully, both of us do what we have to do in the seeding rounds and make it in the final. Like it'll be great to beat America in the finals. But if America wins too, that's what they're meant to do. So, your thoughts on the Opals and the US ladies or women's team, basketball team, like in terms of where they'll finish and if they'll medal?
I reckon, but I think with men's and women's are, I think, pretty much equal when I say that everyone has caught up to the US already. And I think the talent with Australia, along with the rest of the world, have caught up, men's and women's. I think Australia will probably be silver, to be honest with you, if not bronze. That's being generous. But I have my faith with them because I think they've got the weapons to do it. They've got the coaching to do it. So I have faith in them. But we'll see. I mean, it's a big loss losing Liz, because Liz is a gun. I can't keep saying it. She's just a machine. You need her. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Big body.
And she's a presence inside. You need that. So, unfortunately we don't have her. So now, but Australian team, they've got the team. They've got the team. They just need to come together and play together.
So you thought that they'll hit silver as a top and maybe bronze?
Yeah, bronze probably least, but I have a fit. They can hit silver. They just gotta play together. Get over the whole listing, come together as a unit, utilize their weapons, and just play defensive as a team. They've got it. They've got enough weapons to win it. So, but we'll see.
Fair enough. I hope you guys be watching the Olympics. So shifting gears again, we're still staying in the Olympics, but let's talk about the men's. This is where the excitement is, right? So the Australian men in a couple of polls have been seeded number one for these Olympics, right? Due to them beating, going 2-0 or 3-0 in the exhibitions. So we beat Argentina. We beat the US team without the three guys from the finals, and also beat Nigeria. So Nigeria was a big win because we didn't play our starters, and we're gonna meet them in the first game in the Olympics. So your thoughts, RJ, on I guess your thoughts of how the Australian Boomers, which is Australian men's basketball team, will go. Start with that.
I have to admit, this is probably the first year I have to say that they have a very, very strong chance to win the gold. I mean, I've seen a lot of teams where they're locked and loaded with Gaze and Heel. I'm sure you know all these names, but they had to match up against, Jordan back then and the LeBron James back then. But now the USA team, as you can see, they've got this sort of second tier superstars. The main line are on the break, they're in the playoffs or whatnot. They've got the second tier, and they've got certain players like JaVale McGee added to their lineup. So for me, Australia looks really good to be in a position of gold. I mean, look at their lineup. They're shooting the lights out. They know how to play. They're moving the ball around. Look what just they did to America. Sorry. I mean, man, USA was shocked. I mean, they didn't know what hit them, right? So it tells you the arsenal that Australia has, along with the way they coached, is really something special. Because for now, I mean, they're really looking good to be gold. I think this is the best team assembled in a long time to get the gold, to be honest with you. How about you? What do you think?
Yeah. So with the NBA editions of Maurice Thibault, that's like being on court. It just gave us a different look. And then you're having Exum coming off the bench. You're having all these like um, all these guys that are athletic, right? We never had this before.
Mm.
You know, we never had this.
No.
And then you basically got NBA champions. You got the Mills, Aaron Baines, yeah, and they when we're playing American now, it's not about playing against NBA guys because all these guys are NBA guys. Like granted, a lot of our Australian players are role players, but but that's the role they play in the NBA teams. And Matthew Dellavedova, like he's just come out of the league, and you should just see them when they put the green and gold jersey on. They literally play a different game. Like you look at Patty Mills, like when he puts the Spurs jersey, the Pop asks him to play a role, and he plays that role to a T. He's a shooter, comes off screen, shoots. That's it.
Right.
That's it. But when he puts on the green and gold, he's our Michael Jordan. He's our LeBron James. He's our main guy. Like he has the license to shoot the lights out of everything. And to his credit, like he's been doing it like year in year out. You know, you think about any NBA team that's built and win the championship, there has to be years of losing, right? So you think about the core. There's a SBS special on channel SBS. There's a special on the Boomers in 2019. It talks about Patty Mills, you know, recently retired from international, Bogut, and then you got Joe Ingles, and then Patty, and you got So you got those guys. They talk about their startup. They all started together, and Aaron Baines too was part of that. Matthew Dellavedova. So those guys were six guys which started playing together at the age of 14, 15. They were all in the AEST together. So they literally, they were the core, right? So they're all like roughly around 30, 35, right? Close to retirement. So this is the last go around. So in terms of how they play, they all know each other inside, in and out. It's not like they're like, you compare that to the US team, right? So, you know, you basically have Kevin Durant playing with Tatum. This is probably the first time they ever played together. You know, and in terms of the chemistry, right? The chemistry is not there, right? Yeah. And just staying on the topic of the Boomers, right? So the Boomers, I agree with you. Like I think we're going to win the gold. It's just the way that they're coming out. Like, you know, they're coming out with the mindset. Like you think about the 8 years ago, we're like, oh, we want a medal. But then they changed their mentality and let's go for gold. And if we miss out on gold, you know, at least we're going for it, right? So we finished four times in the last 4 competitions, and it's one of those things. Like it's frustrating as it is. I think they're going to get it. What do you think? What are your thoughts about Simmons? Ben Simmons not making himself available for the Olympics. Personally, I think that he's a defensive beast. Like, you know, if we had him on our team, that's another option, right? It's like Liz Cambage. Like if we had him on our team, you know, like I understand he can't shoot. You know, he's got issues with shooting, but you think about what Giannis is doing in the finals. Giannis can't shoot, but he doesn't let it affect his game as much. He keeps on playing his game. He shoot his shot. His free throws might not go in, but it doesn't affect him as much. And you think about Shaq. You know, Shaq makes free throws, and he's like, so what? That's not what I'm here to do. You know, I'm here to dominate. I'm here to foul people out. So I think we're going to win gold regardless. But having Ben Simmons as an option would have been even better. Like, you know, like we have more star power. And when teams come against us, we can throw heaps of different looks, right? You think about defensive lineup. We can throw Ben Simmons, Thibault, you know, Exum on the court, right? And then you know, you got Jock Landau, and then you got Aaron Baines. Like we have a long team, you know what I mean? And then we want shooters, and then you get to all our shooters. Like you know, as a coach in a basketball team, you want all the options you can. Like it's a chess game, right? It's chess
Absolutely.
game.
Yeah, that's right.
Chess game, right?
That's right. Exercise all your options and different mix and matches. Yeah, that's right.
Your thoughts on Ben Simmons not making himself available?
Well, you know what? I have a different take on it at the moment because, to be honest, at this present moment, from what I can tell, from what I read and everything, I think at this present moment, Ben Simmons is not an option. No offense to Ben, I'm a fan of him and his dad. I've been watching his dad grow up, play in the NBL.
More daggers.
Yeah, man, for sure. But to be honest,
Please.
I don't think at the moment his mind's not into it at the moment. I don't know if you saw Wimbledon, but he's shooting a different shot in Wimbledon, bro. And trust me, it's a personal thing. Hey, that's cool, man. Whatever rocks your
That's his
boat.
life.
That's cool.
That's
No
his
issues.
life. Yeah.
Exactly. But come on now, you're earning a lot of money. It's like, I mean, Giannis didn't know how to shoot before. I mean, he improved a lot. He changed his form. Looks a bit awkward now, but he's improving on it. And that's what you should do too. Especially the finals. I mean, it was a disaster for Ben. It didn't look good for Ben, and pretty much everyone was on him to get traded. But at this moment, his mind's not into ball at the moment. I think it's just, I think there's a lot of other things that's in his face at the moment that he's dealing with. So I think, to be honest, having him on the team would be a liability because everyone knows what he can bring. Now, he can only pass, he can rebound, he can dunk, he can penetrate, but he can't shoot. He's a bad free throw shooter. So everyone knows what they can do with him. They can hack a Ben, if you want to call it.
Yep.
So for me, it's probably best left off at the team for the moment. I mean, he's just good for namesake, for the sake of on paper. But if you look at the value of Ben for the Boomers, this year I don't think is a good time. I think he needs to mature a little bit more. I think he needs to put time into his craft. And I think once he does that, everyone can finally say that he's probably the next LeBron. Because his shooting's the only thing that's missing. You know what I mean? He can do everything else, but his mind's not into it, from what I can see. That's my opinion. So
okay. So you're saying the Boomers are better off at the moment due to his fragile state.
That's right. You've got because you've got because you've got all the players in the Boomers who want to be there. Number one, I mean that's what it counts, right? As ball players, when you come to a team, no matter what team or what game, you come there to win and you come there to play. I don't think if you put him in the team, he's not into it. He doesn't care. He has that I don't care attitude from what I can see. So there's no point of having a guy like that, no matter if you're superstar or not. If your mind's not into it, there's no point. Just leave you out of the squad. You know what I mean?
Yep. That's cool. So I guess we clash in that in terms of I think we'd do good for Ben to be on the team. But I can see that point where if he was on the team, I think there'd be more scrutiny. Like, he didn't shoot, he didn't do this. And then there'd probably be more scrutiny around the Australian team. Because he's not there, the Australian team just have to go about and do their business. So it is what it is. So we both agree that Australia's going for gold for sure. And we'll be watching all the games and reporting it. So stay with us on all our social medias and stuff. So cool. All right. We spoke about the Boomers. Let's talk about the dream team or the nightmare team, the US men's basketball team. So let's set the table. So they played the exhibition games. They lost to Nigeria straight out. Shout out to Nigeria. They have a lot of NBA players. I think there's like 6 to 8 NBA players.
And coached by Mike Brown.
Mike Brown, which was assistant on the US team, and also like all those Golden State championships. They lost to our Australian Boomers by 9. I don't like the fact that they say they didn't try and they were getting it together, but we'll get into it. And then they were ducking Australia for the second time. That's what I think. They're saying there's COVID, but they still play France. Still play Spain 2 days after. That doesn't make sense to me. So anyway, so let's get into it. Your thoughts on the US men's team in 2021 Tokyo? Where you think they will end up and why?
I don't know if you want to hear it. I think, I don't know. From what I can see, I mean, it's really hard to say, but I don't think they'll get gold, to be honest with you. They have a good chance of getting silver and bronze, but not gold. I just think, I don't know if you heard, but they keep chopping and changing because of all these, health protocols that, this person's been put at risk, then we have to get someone else to come in. I just don't understand, like, with all these things. I don't know why they chop and change all the time. I mean, they're all, if one's got it, that means they all got it. Am I right? Because they play together. They're all staying in the same hotel. They all practice in the same facility. So now Zach LaVine's gone. And I'm thinking to myself, why are they doing this? I mean, they need us, all the runners they can get, because that's what I can see at the moment with the ball players. Like they need young legs. I mean, Durant and all that. I mean, they're getting old. They can't afford to always rely on them. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I'm not very confident about this team. When I look at, I mean, I know there's other guys that are come back late. They're coming in later after the finals, but come on, those guys are going to be tired. They're tired.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're really going to add more value, but I'm not very confident, to be honest with you. Like Iverson's team, who lost in 2004, if I'm not wrong, they look better than this team. Because this team, they got what, 2 or 3 first ballot superstars, and the rest that are like up and coming.
Yep.
Okay, and younger legs. Okay, we get it, but it's not like you look at the squad and you go, oh damn, like, well, this squad is we have to fear this squad. They look at them, they're like, oh, we've got a chance to beat them. Like I think that's what they can smell, and that's why they lost to Nigeria, because I think they took it easy. They went going, okay, you know, we're going to kill them. They were surprised of what they had. I mean, see that block on Durant? Wow. Woo. That was something. I didn't even heard of the guy, and the guy goes, okay, who's that? I got to look it up now. I got to look him up. Right? I was like, wow. So for me, teams like Nigeria, and I don't know if you've noticed as well. You know what I've noticed? Man, Argentina and Spain, are they limited on people that they're going to get? Are their basketball development like really slow? You've got a couple of players in their 40s.
Yeah, it's a changing of the guard. It's changing of the guard, but these older guys are just hanging on. So
Scola's 41, and man, he doesn't even look 41.
He's playing great hair.
I was just thinking, yeah. And then they've got Gasol in his 40s. I'm thinking to myself, what's going on in Spain and Argentina, man? Like, where's your young guns?
Back to the topic. Yeah. So you think that we win silver based on the roster?
At best. Yeah. At best. Yeah. How about you? What do you reckon?
So every time I see a national team, like I see Nigeria play Argentina against Australia, right? There's a sense of pride. Like this is what we're here to do. Like you play for your club and you understand that that's the best team in your club, and then there's always like the weak links. Like in the national team, they literally every national team, there shouldn't be any really weak links. And I understand that the talent level, the development's easier. I actually watched after watching the first game where the US lost, right? I was surprised because they had so much offensive power. But then I went back and watched some archives on YouTube about the 1992 team, so the regional dream team. And I watched the first game against Angola when they played. The difference, right, between that team and this team is that team didn't care like that they were Hall of Famers, they were best players in the world. They dug down and they played defense. They respected respected the other guys. Like the 2021 team, the guys are just too lax. Like they're too pretty. This is how I put it. Like you basically got all these you got all these Ferraris, right? All these Ferraris that they don't want to get like a dent on their car. They're like, oh, you trying to pass me? I'm gonna let you go. I'll let you go.
They're not really playing for national pride.
Exactly. 1992 team. This is an opportunity where they were Ferraris, but they didn't care. They bang up the Ferrari. They started as crappy cars, right? Every game they just played the game and respected the game for what it is. Michael Jordan didn't come in saying, I'm Michael Jordan. I got 2 championships. I'm gonna beat your ass. Like, you know, like they didn't come with that attitude. Like even at training, like you look at their training, they came in trying to take each other's heads off. Like if you look at the footage where MJ and Magic were going at it, they were going at it. This is at training. They're on the same team. You know, that's right. They literally could have chose to choose like a holiday, but they didn't. They came in, let's win gold, let's smash everyone by 40. That was their goal, right? Yeah. And you think of this team, right? Durant, Lillard is probably the main players, right? The 2 guys that you spoke about in Ballot Hall of Famers. These guys, you know, they're good in the NBA. Like, you know, they're great players, but they get bailed out a lot in the NBA. The NBA rules cater towards entertainment. You know, like that's right. If you go to a Nets game and you see Durant score 42 points or 50 points, you're like, oh wow, you know, you go home and talk about it. You post on social media, I was there. But the FIFA rules and the NBA rules are totally different, right? Because you can see it in every team. So they're pump faking on the 3, they're jumping into the players, and the refs are like, dude, this is not the NBA. They're not going to call
Yeah.
it, you know. So as a referee for over 10 years, current referee, like this is how we ref in FIFA, like in Australia. Like if I see a player jump into another player, if the defense just jumps straight up, hands straight up, and there's contact, you got to ask yourself the question. This is like FIFA. This is all FIFA referees think. What did the defense do wrong? If the question is, if there's any doubt, or if there's any doubt, that means the foul goes offensive play. If you have no doubt that the defensive player did anything wrong, there's no call or it's offensive foul. And most of the time, these NBA players can't adjust to that. They see a collision and there's a foul either way. But it's not the way they play. Like these NBA players are wrapped the common rule. Like they don't train. Most stars don't train in their team. They just play games, and the referees protect them because they're like the assets to the league, right? Like you think about just change topics. We think about the ratings and stuff. It went down because the superstars aren't there. You know, as bad for the league. The league is a business, right? And basketball
it is a business, isn't it? Yeah.
Basketball's secondary. Like, okay, cool, it's basketball, but it's about making money, right? So
that's right.
So going back to the US team, the way I said, you're right. They'd be lucky to get bronze and silver because I don't see them fighting. Like, you know, like sure they got McGee, but I don't think they're gonna play him for whatever reason. They're not gonna play him. They're just gonna sit him, right? And they got Johnson, which is a Spurs guy. Yeah, they got Johnson, Spurs guy. I think McGee can make a difference, right? Like, because you think about it, you put 4 shooters on and you put him in the center because there is no 3-second rule. There's no 3-second defensive rule. Put him in the paint.
That's right.
Every team has got to shoot over him, right? You shoot over a 7-2-footer. And then the fact that if the ball hits the ring in FIFA rules, you can knock it off. That can be his job, right?
FIBA rules are a bit lax. FIBA rules are relaxed. Yeah, that's right.
So in terms of that, so in terms of that, like the US, if they go back to normal like basketball without trying to be pretty, you know, winning ugly, putting guys that they want to bang, you know, they want to get down there, you know, like Draymond Green, Bam Adebayo, like those guys are good, but there has to be a team play around it, you know. They literally have to go. They literally have to go Lillard and Durant, and everyone else has to be secondary, you know. And this is where coaching and the players got to buy into the system. But if I'm Zach LaVine, I'm like, man, this is my time. Like, I want my highlights.
Exactly.
This is why I was brought up. This is why I was brought up. Like from high school, from college. Like everyone's been telling me, I'm the man. You know, and pretty sure their friends are telling them, why you passing Durant for? Take yourself. Like you are the Chicago Bulls. You know what I mean? So there has to be buy-in. Like and in the prelims, in the exhibition games, I haven't seen that buy-in yet. Like sure, every game they're getting better. But not everyone can shoot it 10 times, 20 times. Like there has to be guys. You even go back to the recent teams where Dwayne Wade came off the bench. Like he came off the bench to back up Kobe, and he's like, I'm just gonna play my role. I'm gonna come in, play D, and then shoot on available. He like the guys understand basketball will fall into line, but for whatever reason, this team I don't see them falling into line. They still got the firepower. If they go off from threes, if they go off from twos, they're basically gonna get their points. But like another thing I see when they play is they can't get easy baskets. This is what they're lacking. Yeah, like think about the Boomer system. We pass, shift, screen, shift. Paddy gets a wide open shot for the game winner against Nigeria. Not Nigeria, Argentina. You know, but that was a set play, and like the fact that he got that shot and it's wide open, it wasn't hard work dribbling. Like, you know, the US team, I feel that Durant dribbles off 10 to 15 times, and then he gets a shot. Cool, hits it. If I was guarding him, I'm like, man, you worked hard for that shot, and I live with that. Like I don't see pass, layup, pass, or layup, screen. Screen. Like the US over dribbling. Yeah, it seems to be the preparation's not there, the team chemistry's not there. But but literally the athletes, they're the best in the world. But basketball's a team game. So I agree with you there. I don't think they're favorites for gold. If they get to that round, even if they get to the quarterfinals, it'll be an achievement. Like, you know, it is. You think about the 2000, the World Cup team that came 7th. You know, they literally they struggled. They struggled, and the only way they can get through, I think, is if Lillard or Durant has a hell of a game, like like they're unguardable, like but in international rules, what's gonna happen if they go on fire? They're gonna get smashed. People are gonna foul them. They're gonna foul them hard. So
less ISO plays, more ball movement. That's what's required.
Yep.
I think they got that for the last 2 games now, but they just need to continue that because they always go back to the ISO plays. And I understand that it works well, but this is a different type of play, and you guys have to adjust. So, yeah.
So summing up, we think that they're not favourite for the gold. I think the Australian team will be. But it will be interesting to watch. I know I'll be watching every game for US because it's one of those things where, people didn't like Golden State, people didn't like the Nets. They want them to lose, and you want to witness it. You know what I mean? And if they win, they're meant to win. So it's enough for that topic. Any last words for that topic?
Yeah. If they get silver, man, that's a hell of an achievement. Put it that way.
All right, shifting gears again. Let's move on to the high school scene. So the hot players at the moment. He plays for Lakers. LeBron James, one of my favorite players, one of your favorite players. He has two sons. And one of his son is Bonny James. Like he's literally hitting the AAU tournament and he's playing in multiple teams. At the moment, he's playing for Strive for Greatness. Lots of his videos are coming out online. He's not getting big numbers, but he's playing good D and he's a good shooter. So there's a lot of hype because of who his dad is. The question we're discussing today is, will not LeBron, will his son Bonny James make the NBA? RJ, from what you've seen, what are your thoughts and why?
If you look at all the other scouting for NBA players, whether they're good or not, I mean, he's already got the name to him. I think that ticket has already been paid, so I think he's already in. But the question is, of course, everyone's going to be asking the question, which is, are you going to live up to the hype? Number one. And number two, will you be better than your father? So for me, that's the bigger question. I think they're just too hard on him. I mean, think about it. He's just in high school. How were we in high school? We just play hard and we just run. I mean, in terms of basketball IQ, that comes later. That comes with maturity. That comes with, playing the game more and more. I mean, basketball IQ for him should be easy because it's in his genes, number one, and he's got the answers to the test at home, Dad. So yep. he should make the league easily. But for me, the question is, because he has had a bad injury already, and that's a question for me of his longevity, because the injury alone could set him back, and his potential to play in the NBA. But he'll make it for sure. I mean, let's just take LaMelo Ball. We all questioned him and how his brother was, but look at LaMelo now. I mean, he plays freely. He plays amazing. Like I called it, Rookie of the Year, like I said to you. But
I was wrong.
You never know.
Yep.
I mean, yeah. But like I said, you never know. I mean, people give the hype about high school and college. Okay, you were great. But when you get to the NBA, it's a different ball game. See, so it's your adaptation of how to play the game the right way in this sort of league. So if he can take that, adaptation to the NBA and learn how to play that way, he'll be just as great, if not, equal to his father. So I don't have a doubt that he'll be in the league. It's just that the draft position. That's my only question, because it depends on how he is approaching the draft, of when he will jump into the draft and how he is in the lead up to that. Because that's the most important, because that's what the scouts look at. Then they'll go, oh, we're projecting to be number 1, 2, or 3, depending on play. So we'll see. But he'll make it. No, there's no doubt.
Yeah, I think he has a growth spurt. He's like 6'2", 6'3". He had the ACL injury. I'm surprised they got an ACL injury because his father's an NBA player. Like there's actually like trainers and there's exercises you can do to, I guess, strengthen around your knees. But I guess these things happen. Like, injuries happen. So
it happens. Yeah. I don't think they calculated that, because they were thinking, like all the guys are thinking, well, you're young. what injury are you gonna get? That's
Mm.
how we think, right? But it
Mm.
comes and goes. You don't know. So now that he got it, let's just move on. Let's just try to sort of make the way for it not to come back or to sort of not re-injure it. To be honest, so
Yeah. I guess it came early. I think the amount of training you do, having a basketball court in your backyard and just constantly training, it just wears out your knees, I guess. So
it's not just the training, but the amount of games that they play, the AEU games and stuff. It's crazy now.
Yeah. Did you get a chance to see that documentary on Sierra Cannon? Yeah, Sierra Cannon. It's a nine episode thing. I'll link it to you, man. You can check it out. But
All right. I'll check it out, yeah.
actually, like if you watch that, and Bonny James was a freshman, right? In his year, and the amount of games and the flights they went to, because this series was produced by LeBron and his agent, right? And it has a really high IMDb rating, like 9.1, and I've watched it. Like it's pretty captive. Like you think about Last Chance. Do you know the Netflix documentaries on like Last Chance University and basketball and football? It's kind of shot that way. It's kind of shot that way.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of shot that way. And then you see Bronny. I guess because he's highlighting Bronny because his son, right? So I understand. You know, he's doing what any father would do. He's trying to get in the spotlight. But he was a freshman, right? And the amount of traveling they did for their season was crazy. Like they were literally like pro NBA players in terms of what they had to do, like train, flight.
It is crazy. It is crazy.
Like they were all commenting saying that they didn't expect this, like, you know, and then that's what their life was, you know, because this is because you think about this, like this hasn't been at a high school level. Like maybe like when LeBron was playing at a high school level, like his game got televised, but that was really rare, right? But I think I think the media and social media, like just capitalizing on it, because you see all these YouTube clips, like people like Boy's Life, they're releasing all this video footage. So like the entrepreneurs out there, like all the news outlets are like, oh, let's start televising these games and let's start getting profit from it, right? Because it goes both ways. The profit goes both ways. But going back to Bronny, like I feel that there's a lot of pressure on him. Lots of pressure on him. Like his dad is coming to the game,
pressure.
and the crowds are going there to see him dominate, right?
Fail.
But
I don't know. Some would want to see him fail for sure.
Yeah. The thing is that they're like, oh, you're not your son, and you get like you know, like the Ball brothers' father, like saying that, you know, he's Bonnie's gonna be set up for failure because his dad's so good, you know. But So I saw in that documentary, like I felt that the whole year there was like 7 players ahead of him because they're seniors, right? But this year I was watching the clips. He came back from injury. A couple of things I believe he was pacing himself because of the injury. Like he was just playing good D and being.
He should.
Yeah, playing good D, which he is. And then he's just been a good teammate and a point guard, just passing over to the open man. But as he's moved on from Sierra Cannon this summer, as the season's over, and then he jumped onto 2 more teams. His latest team, his dad's coaching it. I'm seeing he's more aggressive, but he doesn't have that mindset of wanting to score a certain amount every game. You're thinking about a famous quote that Michael Jordan said. Michael Jordan said that he scored 32 in his sleep because he's like, that's 8 points a quarter. Like, so he has in his head, like he has in his head, it's 2 minutes. I should be scoring every 2 minutes, right? So he's pacing himself. So when he gets around that or higher, lower, at least he's holding himself accountable. You know, Bonnie's a high school kid, but for him to get notoriety, he has to really start thinking like that. Like I don't know where his body is in terms of that, but on defense he's giving it, like he's stopping guys, and offense he's kicking the ball out. He's pretty much like, you know, he's pretty much like LaMelo Ball in that way. Like he or like his brother Lonzo, like he passes the ball whenever he's open.
Pass first.
Yeah,
point guard, traditional point guard.
Like he's not looking for the assist, he's looking for the hockey assist or whatever. He just wants to win. You know, just wants to win. So so you think that every kid out there, it's a bit of fresh air, like, you know, like, because every kid out there, it's all about offense, putting big numbers in, right? Everyone wants to put 30, 40 points up to get you know, like the top pick, you know, because as players, most of these players come from, like, you know, They live in the hood. So this is their way out.
Right.
This is the way out. So this is something that Kobe had to deal with, because Kobe didn't have that, but he had to find the fire inside him, right? Because his dad was a player, NBA player. And you think about Steph Curry, the same. His father was an NBA player, so these guys were set up. And Grant Hill, those guys were set up for life, regardless. So there has to be a fire inside you. So I think Bonny might be a late developer, but he's getting there. Like what I like to see out of him is just shoot more. Like, you know, regardless of his, like, you think we talk about Ben Simmons, like shooting more. We want Bonny just to shoot more. Like these AAU games doesn't matter. Like, you know, it doesn't really matter in terms of the aspect of things. It's just developing your game and being a better player. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, and let's move on to LeBron's second son, right? Bryce Maximus James. Like he's also at the AAU scene. He's like a couple of years younger than Bronny. But when I watch his highlights, he's coming out looking for the smoke. Like, you know, see, this is the thing I like about Bryce. He's coming out, he's shooting a shot. He's shooting about 10 shots a game or more. Like, he's going for it. He wants to be a scorer. So this is where different type of player.
He's aggressive.
Different type of player. And then you think his growth, he's actually getting close to Bonny size now. So and LeBron said that the best shooter in the house is Bryce. Like, in terms of their house. So yeah, we'll see where he ends up. Have you seen any footage of him, or do you have any comments?
Well, I've seen him as well. Yeah, he's developing, and he's developing quick. And he may overtake his brother in terms of height and body. But LeBron James Jr. Bronny is really after his dad. He's really a pass first guy. Bryce is a different beast. And you can see that. You can see that from him since he was younger. So he's trying to separate himself, I think, from his brother. And you can, but you know, they're all different. But as they get older, they develop to different. I mean, you never know. He could be a pass first guy as well when he enters the league too. But you never know. You know what I mean? Like, it's just now. So it's good development at the moment, and I'm sure they've got the best of everything to recover, to sort of rest and everything, because you know their dad knows how to do it. So you know they've got the steps patterned for them already, and they've got all the resources available for them. So they're very blessed, those kids. They just got to use it to their best ability, because no other kid has those resources except them. So
but you know, we discussed it also takes away from it. Like, you think about like LeBron's coming up, like when he had to leave, like he lived in different houses, his mum had to work 4 jobs. You know, that fire inside him, made him the best player. He's also like genetics and God-given talent. So like we said, the main thing is if you make it about basketball. If Bonny and Bryce make it about basketball, just be the best they can. That's what they can do, right? And
that's right.
We compare it to, I guess, like comparison is like Michael Jordan's kids. Like, I think it's Jeffrey and remember those guys. They went to college, but they didn't get drafted, and they moved on to, I guess, careers. But talking to them about basketball in terms of the interviews that we've seen on TV and online, they didn't want it bad. They weren't hungry for it. They weren't hungry for it. They didn't love the game like MJ did. They didn't love the game. So I guess, yeah. So
they didn't have anything to prove, because their fathers like pretty much accomplished everything, and for them to accomplish more than what their dad would accomplish, man, it's got to be something more than that. You know what I mean? So, but that's why they moved on. But hey, man, they got good careers now. They all work for Nike. They all work for Jumpman Jordan. So, hey, who cares? Don't worry about it.
So to sum up, we both think Bonny will make the league. The type of player he's still to be determined, because he's young. Like, imagine he grows into 6'9" beast. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
That's true.
It's quite interesting. It's for me, it's fascinating. I think the social media now is a bit more open. Like, you can see these players more, like on YouTube and the videos. Like when Jordan's kids came up, or like Grant Hill and Steph Curry came up, we didn't get to see them on social media as much. Like, we wouldn't see that much
platform.
Yeah. So
there's so many platforms.
Yeah, and then especially Bonny being part of all these big YouTubers like Perez and stuff. Like, he's connected. Like, he's on the cover of sports. One of the sporting magazines, the biggest one, and he he was actually similar age to LeBron. But LeBron came off of basketball. He's coming on for games and social media. So it's quite interesting.
Okay.
It's quite interesting how, you know, Sports Illustrated. That's right.
Sports Illustrated.
Sports Illustrated. Like his son got on because of playing games and doing YouTube videos. You know what I mean? So this is the changing of times, right? This is changing of times.
Changing of the times.
So maybe he's big as a gamer. Like that's might be his calling. You know.
Cool.
It might be his calling back game. Yeah, which is what it is. So anyway, it'll be good to see him in the league if he gets there. It'll be amazing to see a father-son combination. I think LeBron's waiting, like to see if that's possible.
That's what it is, though. That's the only competition he's got left.
Yeah, just playing his son. Hopefully, and I'm pretty sure if the Lakers have a pick, like late second round pick, and the Bronny's there, LeBron will be like, I'll play for free if you pick him. Get him a jersey.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'll play for him free. Give him a discount.
If LeBron's still playing, hopefully he's still playing.
Hopefully, with science, sports science, he'll be playing, but we'll see.
That's right. Yeah.
Cool. Thanks, RJ, for your chat today.
Thanks, John.
Yeah, man. Hopefully we'll get to do this more often for everyone. Hopefully you tune in, subscribe to our channel. Just follow us wherever you want. Like we're just a bunch of guys talking basketball. And if anyone knows where there's good hoops, let me know. I'm in Stratford, and around my area, they're basically clamping down on all the rings. They're bringing them all down. You know, like they just want us to stay home.
Yeah,
which is crazy. Man. But anyway, that's a topic for a different time.
That's right.
Cool. See you later, guys. See you later, RJ.
Have a good night, guys. Thanks, T.